Hi guys, unanisikia Jose? All right. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode
Ngoja, hebu anza.
of
Hi guys, ni nini?
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Truthcast. So today's topic, nahem ayo, nahem. So today we're going to talk about lessons learned from past failures.
Why?
And the conversation today is interesting, or rather the structure of the conversation is a bit interesting. So the cameraman behind uko nyuma natakuwa akituuliza maswali and then we'll be answering. Yeah, that's what is really having my heart.
Yeah.
In
It's
my
easier
stomach.
that way because we have gone through it.
Yeah.
As you are well aware.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to do this video today. I hope you guys enjoy.
How I define failure is something not going the way I wanted it to go and me deciding that I'm not going to follow through or to make sure it goes the way I want it to.
I think I share the same opinion. I would define failure as something just not working out, basically. Yeah.
For one reason or the
Or
other.
another, because it could take a different turn and I actually like the turn that it takes. But it can just fail to work entirely. So yeah. Tears.
Sleep.
And that.
What?
Sleep is yours.
When things don't go the way I want them to, I sleep.
You sleep.
I sleep.
My first reaction, because I'm thinking, before it hits the rocks, umekuwa ukiona ikienda kuhit the rocks. So I think for me it will be overthinking. Nitaichambua kwa akili, nitaichambua. How can I fix it? How can I not? You know, like I would really turn it upside down, turn it the other upside. Like I would really overdo the thinking. And then now I would sleep.
My first response to disappointment is sleep. Yani,
Tend to ulale. I hear you.
and sometimes I'll not even be able to catch the sleep.
Because your mind is not shutting down.
Yeah. But just the fact that I'm in bed, I feel like it's soothing. So that's my first response to failure. Or that's my first response. Hey. Nikishaamka sasa ndo tuanze sasa kufikiria. Oi.
What has happened? Yeah. But then there's something that bed does to you. Because also for me, especially when you were in the thick of things, stalala. Like my mind would shut down. I know, or rather I can remember instances where I'd have to tell God, please, just shut my mind.
Me too.
Right?
Oh my God.
Shut my mind. Let me get at least 2 minutes of sleep. And every time, I think that's where the faithfulness of God comes in.
After you make that prayer, you don't.
I will not even finish that prayer. I'm gone. Yeah. So for me, I think I would overthink it, and then at the same time, simultaneously, then happens simultaneously, I'm also in bed. But when I start sleeping, talala alafu niamke niko yo.
God, I beg. I think one of the failures that you don't learn from is the one that you keep finding yourself in the same place.
As in?
So it's something that failed, but you're still failing at it.
So it means that you're doing the same thing at the same way?
I think so, yeah.
I would agree.
But also then there's also the aspect of, there's some people who started various businesses and have closed down for one reason or the other until they found one that has worked out for them. So yeah, I maintain that if you're still failing at it, then you've not learned. You remember in high school, high school was so traumatizing. You remember in high school, when you'd fail in a subject or a paper, maybe midterm paper, you failed in your, let's say, chemistry. You would try to go through those papers, those questions, so that the next time they come, even if they're going to come in a different form, you don't do badly in them. Then if you do badly in them, you're like, kwani sikushika?
But you know, for those like physics and maths and things like that, they have a set formula for them. Like they'll be like, or rather when somebody is even tutoring you about these things that like, shikai formula, just work around it. So now I'm like, X, G, what? And then they'll be like, this is the formula for this thing. So when they ask the question, it's for you to understand what is the X, what is the constant, things like that. However, with, for example, business, I agree when you're saying there are failures you cannot learn from in the angle that you're doing something the same way, in that umefungwa biashara, say where, say Karen, umefungwa biashara ya smoky pasua, hawa kulangi smoky pasua. Na umeona tu haifanyi vizuri, lakini wewe umeinsist Karen must work, and it's really not working. So I think that is the angle. You get?
I get.
So that I would say that's a failure that you're not learning from, because you have refused to. It's not. The business is not wrong, because take the same business qua stage somewhere else, it's going to prosper.
Yeah.
It's just that your target audience are not.
Yeah.
You
in
get
cars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't like the product. I think success is achieving what you intended to do in a project, in a defined timeline, in your life personally. I think, yeah, that's success, I believe.
You know, it's interesting because the Bible talks about success, but it also, in the book of Joshua, it talks about good success. I think success is relative, first of all. And I'm not even talking about that in life, the way what is a successful life to you. Success is it depends on the goals that you have set. It depends also on your process. Because the end determines the means. The means determines the end.
The end determines the means, yes?
Boss,
the end determines the, no. See the start.
I think it's the end determines the means.
Really?
Justifies the means, yes. So I think based on your goal or your objective and the means that you've used to achieve your goal, that can be, if you had a specific goal and you had plan 1, 2, 3 to achieve the goal, and you use the desired plans to achieve the goal, I think that's success. Success can also be that you just want the end result to be good. So you don't care how someone works around it to get to the goal. I don't know if that makes sense.
I hear that. So I wanted to ask you a question. You've mentioned the means to getting to the success.
The goal, yeah.
So for example, I think we've had this discussion before, you and I, on how I don't know what I should say this. On how sometimes we feel like we have had opportunities to omoka, but because those opportunities don't align with our values.
Yeah, that's not success.
Yeah, that's not success to us. So if somebody else would term, doesn't mind stepping down there.
Yeah,
okay.
That's success for them.
That still goes.
Yeah, for them.
For them.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I said success is very relative.
Relative.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think based on your example, if the state of your mind is jibambe.
Meaning what? Like if you can sleep at night?
Yeah.
With it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, if I achieve this goal, but I have toiled and toiled and toiled, I don't think that will be success for me, because yes, I'll have achieved my goal, but I'm way worse than I was when I started.
By what you mean?
Like, for example, if I can use the example of my business, which failed, sometimes I would make sales. Or rather, I used to make sales, but I also used to make losses.
Losses, yeah.
So that's not success.
So success is not making losses?
For me.
Okay.
For me. Because
Right.
if I'm making losses, ideally a business is supposed to make more profit than losses.
Yeah.
Or to ensure that the profit margins are higher than there. So
Yeah.
don't make sales, but about kwa sales, do I even have profit? You know, I've just thought about it. I've started very many businesses. Not very many, of course. But I've started...
Let's just start it from high school.
Like in the high school, because na fail, ni crack down. Guys, in high school, I used to have a booming business. If you're in St. George's, you know what I mean. Vanilla cakes.
Aye.
But those one, in fact, if you ask me, I was thriving. That was success. Money was working for me.
The authorities were just not on your
Lunchtime,
side.
the authorities,
Your side.
lunchtime, jina yangu ndio ilikuwa inasema, Spencer.
Hauna ukonja?
Hauna ukonja,
In your
shika.
list ya watu.
Nikiona pia imebaki kidogo na demand ni nyingi na double the price. And people used to buy.
Yeah.
So for me, that was success. But now, after I finished high school, the first business I started was nails. And I remember our friend Tata is one who gave me money to start. I just started. I didn't have a plan. I just was like, you know what? I enjoy painting my nails and I enjoy painting other people's nails. Let me start. So I bought the things I needed. I was able to get some clients here and there, but sikuwa narudisha pesa yenye nilikuwa nimepump into the business. So I remember after that, after like 3 months of being on my own, I went to a Menti house. I had actually gone to restock some of my products, was just to buy some colors. And then the lady was like, but then do you have a place where you work? Her name is Petra. She's a very good friend of mine on TikTok. She was like, do you have a place where you work? I was like, no. Then she was like, so you come, let's work together. You'll take 50, we take 50. I was like, yes. The following day I was there. So she spoke to her boss. Her boss was okay with it. The following day I was there. They were kind to me. And then I was like, I don't like it here anymore. I think after like 3 months, I didn't like it there anymore. This was like in October. Then I got another. Now I looked for a job at Ngong Road. Do you remember that time I used to work at Ngong Road? Yeah. So at that point, that nail business of mine, it took a hot pause, but it didn't fail. Because I was now getting clientele, but now I was taking them to a different venue. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I got tired of that place again. I looked for another a job at a different salon. I didn't like that manager. Now I stopped salon business altogether. Now I started another business. At that point still, I didn't think I failed at the nails one. I just decided to redirect. Then I started selling mandazis. Let me tell you guys, my mandazis are bomb. So the snacks to the guys I used to sing with, yeah, meatballs, nini. Hey, that one was also thriving. I can't say it failed also, because what stopped me from continuing to make was COVID. After I had made a till number, nini. Like I was, 2020 would have been my year to talk a block. So now in 2020, fast forward to 2022, because I still continue to do the nail business on the side even as I was making the snacks. Not 2022, now I decided to now start my own business, the eatery. It started very well. I had a friend join me, we partnered. Then midway, he decided to pull, there were some challenges financially, then he pulled out. So I was left alone. Then I got into debt. I got into debt, and then elections happened. When elections happened, I remember there's a time I didn't open for 2 weeks because of the location of my business. But then, guys, when you're starting your business, location is very important.
So very.
Location can mess you up, like it did me. So I closed for 2 weeks. And then when I reopened, I felt like I was starting from scratch because now my clientele wametapakaa, watu wanafikiria nimefunga biz. I was able to pick myself up, gather the things that I had left and start again. But now in November, I'll never forget the date, November 9th, 2022. I get a call, I'm in class, I get a call from one of my employees. She's like, hey, huku kume... No, actually she texted me on WhatsApp. Ati, hey, huku kumeibiwa. So I was seeing it like 2 hours later. I'm like, kumeibiwa, unamaanisha nini? Then I'm calling her, her phone is not going through. I'm like, guy, unamaanisha nini kumeibiwa? So I called my neighbor. Then he's the one was like, hey, by the way, I'm so sorry, Pepe. You've been robbed, and like hauna anything left. They took everything. They left me with a jiko. I'm so sorry. Let me tell you, that was the last nail on the coffin. I remember that day I was having 2 classes, one in the morning, then I had space, and then I had one from 1:30 to 4:30. Up in the middle, I went to the police station and reported that I had been robbed. They gave me that OB number that didn't help me in any way. After that, I went and slept. I didn't even join that class. I went to Tata's place. I just told her, are you in the house? She said, I'm not in the house, but my sister is there. I'm coming. Because I went to report it at Langata police station. And my sister, nililala niko na mkasi saa 3. And I slept at like 2. I slept deep sleep. Hey, stress. When I woke up from there, I decided I'm done.
Yeah.
So I remember my employees telling me, let's just continue, let's continue. So I used to send them some money for Kwanza Siku. But you see now they used to struggle because the gas was gone, the burners, everything was gone. So they were using 1 jiko, and me, I was not willing to buy more equipment. So that's how I lost my business. I lost my business through robbery because of the wrong location. People normally say, oh, ni hawa watu wako walikuibia. I'm still friends with the ladies who are working for me there. I don't think that they're the ones who did. Maybe my customers are the ones who stole from me. But I strongly believe if I was in Karen, I would not have been robbed that way. Yeah. I tried to follow it up with the person who used to do our security there. He was not giving me concrete reason. So I decided, you know what, I'm done. Plus, I was going through it in my personal life.
Woo!
I decided, no, I don't have the grace to carry it forward. So that's one of my failure stories. I failed in a lot of things, including relationships.
And we choose the business side.
Yeah, the business side is what brings the money.
Yeah, focus. Let's focus on that.
For me, oh my God,
what businesses have I done? What's the question again?
What's your failure story?
What's my failure story? Wow, my failure story. I can't have been at Zunguka, sorry. What's my failure story? So, 2020, I was selling shampoos. Nilikuwa nazizungusha. I was to go and buy ingredients na kuja nazitengeneza tunakisapo na nasiuka.
Wow.
Mimi nenda nazungusha salons, you convincing them that this is really good shampoo. It used to smell really nice. Convince them this is good shampoo, good for their hair, blah blah blah.
Was it good for your hair?
Yeah, but then it was just shampoo ya kawaida. You get nothing into deep. Because at the time, I was just really trying to make money, not at the... You know the stories that are attached to some businesses, especially like the small businesses. Oh, I make soap because my son had...
You didn't have that?
I did not have none of that. So I was just making basic shampoo. And then I'd sell it. Now the hard bit was to convince someone to stop buying from their vendor to switch to you. Now that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing. Now kuzungusha my sister.
They're heavy.
You can imagine. So I'd carry like 2 in my bag. 2 or 1. I'd carry like 2
2 how many liters?
10 liter. They're like 5, babe. I'd carry
In your bag.
in my bag. In my bag, or I'd carry 1 and then have 2 small zaku. Smell, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, this business is really not making sense. Then it ikaisha. Because I was like, number 1, the profits seem mob, and I felt like I would be in this for a long time. You struggle, kunini, kutafuta. I felt like this, I'll be here for a minute. So I just nikacha hiyo biashara.
So do you consider it failure? Do you think it failed?
I don't. I think it did, because it didn't pick up as I had expected it to pick up, because it's just there wasn't a big price difference between me and the next vendor. You get, so it was the convincing it. Yo, literally. And then someone is telling, "Utachukua next month unaenda unamtafuta." I feel that you were literally begging. Next month unaenda unamtafuta. Anakwambia hata nilishanunua. And you're like, ah. So you have to keep on coming back. So after that, I just closed that business. So bear with us, guys. So what was I saying? So now I have my soap business. Starting out was really hard. But then we got the momentum. I'm still doing my soap business, so I cannot say that there is failure there. I'm hanging on to it, taking it before the Lord. So I can't say that there is failure there, but with failure, I think personal life. Apart from business, give any ramba.
I think the first thing I can say I've learned is that failure is inevitable. When I started my business, the eatery Uprise, I did not imagine it was going to fail. This is the next KFC in this
the next country.
Franchise Kisumu, I'm coming. Eldoret, you think you have KFC? Juicy, I'm coming. And just like you, this is something I still want to do in future with more resources. But how it ended, I didn't actually just decide, you know what, Adelaide, you're not making profit. It's better you close down and restructure.
It ended with a lot of...
In fact, I was cracked down. So I've learned that failure is inevitable. When you start something, of course you prepare not to fail, but failure can come. And when it comes, it doesn't mean that you're the problem. I remember when I lost my business, guys, the next year I was in therapy. It went for my mental health, because I was losing it. I did everything I knew to do. I even got bitter at people who I thought should have helped me in one way or the other, but didn't help me. And not even in terms of money, but in terms of knowledge and experience. People who had promised me help. People who had told me, Adelaide will work with you. You're my person. They went quiet. They never picked my calls. They never responded. 2022, I ate blue ticks. But also in 2022, I found friends that even if we don't talk every day, I knew this one is a friend indeed, because people came through. Even in terms of knowledge and in terms of resources also. And in terms of even just being there. But it's taught, my number one lesson from that failure of that part of my business is that it can come. Don't live life thinking you'll never fail. I know you have that Airbnb or you have that online business and it's booming. You can be conned. You are not the smartest.
Really?
Unaweza piga simu upewe tu English, tuma pesa hii, utume 70,000 alafu. Jesus Christ. That's the only money in your M-Pesa or in your account. And you're imagining that you're sending it to the person that you've just spoken to. It is possible to be, like, failure comes, and it comes in the weirdest of ways. I never imagined I would be robbed. I never imagined. I remember when I came from class and now I went to see exactly how my shop looks like, my eatery looks like. I looked at it. I was in disbelief. Mate ilikauka. Na siku, but then I never cried. That whole November, December, I think I was starting to cry in February when I was starting therapy. Because I was in a state of shock. I think the word is I didn't prepare for failure. I didn't prepare for this not working. I was like, it has to work and it has to work and it has to work. Hey!
Yeah.
It was coming from my throat. So when now my business failed in that I was robbed, I didn't even have it insured. I didn't even know. At that point, no, someone asked me, had you insured your business? I was like, I say?
What do you say?
I say what?
Excuse
insured
me?
my business? This kiosk? What do you?
Oh God.
I didn't know I didn't know there were insurance companies that were giving cover to small businesses even like mine. You know. So I didn't prepare. And I'm not saying that guys that is also where we will prepare to fail. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't imagine that my business was ever going to go through something like that will actually bring it to a forced close. So that was my number one is failure is inevitable and prepare for it. Have cushions or airbags.
For me is that be ready to make mistakes. You will make the mistakes.
Hey.
Stop fearing. Be okay rather with making the mistakes. You can only do so much, especially as a startup with no background of my father was a businessman, so he showed you X and X.
Yeah.
It's just you and the Lord. But it's just you and the Lord and the Beyonce's internet. You really just be prepared to make mistakes and accept them. For me, I think with my businesses, rather yenye ilini hurt ilikuwa hiyo ya kuku, because as you uko mwana KFC, mimi nilikuwa nimeona I'm the next ndio Isinya achana tena how Isinya walikuwa wanatengeneza mayaya kuku, and then now they grew to food, making the food. That was the plan, bro. And I knew that is it. Nishaanza kuangalia factories, where can I? Yani I was seeing inflation did the thing for me.
Ask me about inflation.
Came for my neck. I couldn't breathe. So I remember when I was closing down my business, as I was saying, like that time, my grandmother she used to really encourage me. And I remember when I sold my last lot, she was like, "Mono, nakani kama mtu amefiwa." Because I was honestly, I was mourning.
Yeah.
I was mourning my business. And then that time I had really put a lot of effort, especially physically, to that business. And I thought that it's going to work. And I was, even when you're putting all this effort, you're like, there's an end goal, there's an end goal, there's an end goal. So that's what makes it makes you wake up in the morning and do the same thing over and over. Because I remember now there's also a period in that business where, not even a period, like the time ya kuchinja, izo kuku, you have to go out and look for market. So there was a ready market that I had, but they weren't taking enough. You know?
I think still imerudi. Ama? Sile msema.
Sina pa kuwaka tu. Si zimewashwa.
I think so. Yeah, you're right. You'll check. Okay.
So you have to go out and
look for market.
So I remember nilikuwa, that day.
Sasa?
At every butchery. And I remember there's someone who was trying to con me. And how she was trying to con me is, she was trying to make me sell my chicken at a throwaway price, yet she was going to resell them. You get my point? Yeah, that's what she was doing. And I thank God for knowledge, number one, exposure also, and I just thank God for God, because it was easy at that time of desperation, because I have, like, for example, I used to keep like 200, 300. Mtu anakuja anachukua so you're left with 200. So what are you with?
And how much have you sold one?
At what time? How much was I selling them? Because now it depends with how we are coming into each other in the market. You get? Okay. If I'm selling it at a butchery, vile nitauzia Jose. Una get? Okay. Yeah. Butchery lazima unajua what enda kuongeza. Okay. So you have to make
give them a margin.
Exactly.
What?
So now this woman knew a butchery. And what was hurting me, I think there's an expectation when it's a woman-to-woman thing.
Yeah.
At the time that I had. I was like, man, we're supposed to be here for together. When do you want to exploit me? So that one really hurt. But then that toiling and toiling, I had this, there's an end goal, there's an end goal, there's an end goal. So when I was closing down my business, I was sad. I remember all I wanted to do was just be in bed. And I was not even crying, by the way.
Just stay in bed, me too.
Just stay in bed and think, there goes away. You see the ocean when you throw something and you just see it go away. Yeah. That's how I felt, and it was breaking my heart. And I was like, God, I really gave this business my best, the best that I could. And here I am. I gave up too quickly. I was asking myself so many questions. I was like, I don't have the grit for business. You really question yourself. Yes. But then you go back to doing the math. I'm like, this math is not mathing. And then I'll be like, I'm being greedy. This is how business is supposed to be. You're supposed to just cry, suffer, scream. You get. But what is the point here? I think, guys, be okay with making mistakes. Yes. That is my number one lesson. Be okay with making mistakes. Number two, be very open. It's lesson from failure. Be open to learning. Because when you start businesses, like you said, you didn't know about those insurance and things like that. Like, put yourself in spaces with people who have started businesses and listen to those conversations. Something might be mentioned and, you pick up something like, I did not know this bit.
But let me tell you, babe, I feel like I did that. Good for you if those people that you surround yourself with actually want to support you. So these are not like that lady who wanted to buy chicken from you at a throwaway price. That is someone who, if you guys would have had an agreement, that is someone who would have been a consistent customer to you. Like, if you guys are able to come to a good agreement where you're not hurting and she's also benefiting at the end, like you guys would have had, angekuwa anarudi kununua kutoka kwako. But instead akaona, and this is an opportunity to exploit you. For one reason or the other, maybe she saw you're young.
Yeah, I think that
one challenge that I experienced was people used to see that I was young. And because when I used to speak about I used to say, I have a business. Where is the business? It's in Langata. What is it? It's an eatery. What do you do? I sell African dishes, fries. But you would see that people, it would end there. You understand? I said, okay, maybe then I don't, maybe me if I could go on a physical community, let me go and have an online community. Nikaenda kwa hizi places, hizi channels, za Instagram. Vusi. I love Vusi. At some point, I used to feel like some of the things he's saying are not making sense for me.
Exactly.
I used to find them. I used to find them very impractical. You're talking to me, CEO. I'm not a CEO. I'm a, self-employed or an entrepreneur. I'm trying to come up with my own business. You're coming and telling me about pitching. So I used to feel like this, it doesn't make sense to me. And I decided to now be alone. So I think what I would say is find a balance. Sieve what you're listening to. Find your own constitution. Find what works for you. And then don't be alone for long. Because now I decided to be alone. Now the only people that were supporting me were you, my cousin who was helping me out at the time. And that was it. So, and my friends, I can hope. So if I get a roadblock, I either call you guys, we brainstorm, and then I make the final decision. I've not sought from someone who has done it before because I didn't have. And I tried to.
And I think that's the thing about entrepreneurship. I think that people who have done this before do not accord us the grace of startups. Yeah, because they'll come in and like, you've not done that bit, you've not even thought about this, then you're really not doing a business.
I remember there's a time before I started, a lady friend of mine, because we went to her, me and my friend, and she was like, you guys need to do a POC. Like, she gave us a list of things we were supposed to do, which we had done. you guys need to do a POC, you need to come with a marketing plan, and we were like, okay, so are you saying we should not start? What are you saying? She didn't give us concrete advice. She just told us these are the things you guys need to do, and then we were left there. So me, I decided, we kwenda.
And then these are the people who are going to say, I like how young people are doing businesses. Yet you're not really holding their hands when they come to you about their businesses. However, when I was talking about community is, babe, there's a part, I think nimesema hii community hadi every video. But community is very important, guys. Like, there's a part that community plays. Like, when people, like, for example, someone who has grown up in a household where he has seen his father start something, and he's not being forced to continue that business.
Yeah.
He has the guts and the balls to go and start another business and come to his father and he's like, I don't know. I honestly, I feel like we need a space to say, I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
I really
That's
don't know.
True.
I have not really thought about this. Help me. Akwambe aya, this is the plan. Like, for example, in our working structure, there's a team that we are in.
Yeah.
And someone wants to offer help, but they're really not offering the help. And yet you really don't know.
Yeah.
They're not being on the ground with you, pointing, this is what you need to work on.
Yeah.
This is what you need to work on. Because I honestly don't know. You get, I've not started a business before.
Yeah.
You get. So I feel there's a place where community plays.
Yeah.
If you're lucky to have people who have started before and are willing to hold your hand, please stick there. Please ask the questions. Please,
learn.
If you're not that lucky, I think this is another bit where spirituality comes to play. Pray about it.
Pray.
Just tell God to give you those kind of people as you figure life out. Point is, don't stay alone. Even if you start alone, don't stay alone.
Yeah.
Have people, hata kama it's with your friends who have not started a business, who can be like, okay, let's research.
Yeah.
Someone who's good with research, let's research.
Yeah.
Monze market strategy, how to come up with one. And you figure it out together.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
Don't just be alone. So those are my takeaways from
I think also,
failure.
you see the way this politician who says, don't put these things in your heart, put them in your lungs. I'll advise entrepreneurs, whether you're starting, whatever, you're starting up something, don't put it in your lungs. Don't have a personal attachment to your business. And I know it's hard to do this because the line is very thin, but it will save you. I remember our Reverend Julian was saying, he started very many businesses. I think we were with you at Kingdom Commonwealth. Yeah. And he was saying he started very many businesses, and then in Africa Mahali, the Arabs come for the business because they invested the money.
The whites.
Then he starts up another one, expands to different countries, and then politics happens. The president there loses, inflation comes in, and then the business goes away.
And you're like, you have really worked.
And he was saying, at some point, he felt like what he was doing was, he's not really an entrepreneur. He's actually just working for this the whites and Arabs. But he decided that he's not going to have a personal relationship with these businesses. He'll start them. If the business needs someone else to continue and get it to the next level, let it.
It's true.
If the business needs to be sold or acquired, watch iende. And that's how right now this man is still able to do ministry and he's still able to do business very comfortably because hakuweka kwa heart.
Kwa lungs.
Were there points where he probably got depressed and wanted to throw in the towel? Definitely. But I believe that right now where he is, if any of his businesses were to fail, he'll not go crying.
It won't be the same.
It won't be the same. He will grieve losing this business, but he's not going to be like, I'm done. The way me wash my hands and clothes down because I was robbed. Because nowadays I'm usually like, what would he do? Because right now I look up to him as someone who's made it in business. I'm like, so now how would Rev handle this thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Amefika hapa, what are some of the things that he would do if he was in my shoes, based on the experience that he has. But as an entrepreneur, so that please don't commit suicide because of a business.
Yeah.
It's true. Put it in your lungs, breathe it
out.
In and out as fast as it came in.
Yeah. One of the things, babe, I think we need to incorporate as a different, or rather as a let's just say a different generation in this time, is we keep on talking about, as Christians, we keep on talking about the Arabs, how they're making money, how their wealth is running in their families. We talk about the whites here and there, how they're taking dominance in companies. You get colonialism. And I think the conversation should be, or rather, I think the conversation has started being, what are they doing that we are not doing? And now for me, I'd like to bring it in the aspect of, you see these people, especially, let's talk about the Arabs, the Somali guys and whatnot. These are people, hata akianzisha biashara ya ku deep fry chipo, their son is there, counting the money, or cleaning the tables. You get? So you find the father has started that business, and probably let's say ni biashara tu kadogo, amekaka itari mahali. Probably he doesn't even have a vision for it. He's doing this so that you people get food on the table. Yes, the son has seen this business. The guy retires, the son is taking over. You find the kid has more knowledge than the father, so he'll open another eatery. You understand? And that's how these things grow. So you find, by the time that other, mtu alianza kitu in the 80s or in the 70s. So by the time we are here, we're talking of KFC. That started. You get what I'm saying? I think we need to embrace that as it's not just Christians really, but as us. As we're starting these businesses, and by the grace of God, we're going to be big people in the near future. We should make sure that our kids are present. You know, like present in the business. This is how it works. Count that money. You understand? Write me that, do that balance sheet. You know, I want you to, or rather, you're the one who's going to be making the tea. As much as we're trying to make a better life for these kids, I feel like they have to start from zero. You know, they're starting from zero at 25, yet by the time that, you know, at 25, you are seeing your mother go to work and run her own business. Hata kama ni cosmetics. You know, you would, if you stayed with your mom, ungejua hata kama unajua ni lip gloss inaendaje. Hiyo si ni biashara. Ni biashara. Exactly. So I feel like as we grow older and get to the point we're getting kids, by God's grace, I think things would have really looked up for us, and we have businesses here and there. Our kids should be involved from the point where they are conscious and able to do things. Teach them about business. Bring your child to work. Like now, the whites, I've not really seen them business, but they do this thing of bring your child to work. So your child gets to see what you're doing at work. Corporate, you know, do this bit. Or they even start to pay their children for services when they're young. Exactly. They understand business from a young age. So you find Africans, we have to come into that reality is taking us a long time because sisi wa Afrika bado nini ukipewa mtoto akipewa so ati anaharibiwa na pesa. You understand? Ama the conversation, we are still fighting the conversation of money being hard and foreign and sensitive. And yet people are having these things easy. The people we're in competition with, rather. Not even competition, but the people living next to us are doing much better than us, not because they're better than us, but because they're and they're actually coming to our country to show us. Exactly. You understand? Making money off of our continent, yet we are very rich. Oh my God. Anyway, I think the last thing, make sure you do another lesson I think we should all learn from failure, or that I have learned from failure, is the importance of reflecting and taking the time to check where you went wrong and where you went right. It's very important because, like the same way we said, the principles of life are the same. Even bouncing back from failure, it's the same thing. You need to reflect, check the places you did right, the places you did wrong, the places that needed improvement, the places that you needed mentors. It's very important. Because for me, from those businesses that I was running from one to the other, I never sat down and reflected it. I didn't. I was just like, this is something I can do. Go girl. Go girl, where? Where are you going? You know, you need to find out, umetoka wapi, how was this business? No, you see, for you now, how you're handling the soap business is very different from how you are handling the cuckoo business. The dynamics are different. Just the same thing you are saying. The dynamics are different as much as the principles are the same. So make sure, if you're going to move from one business to the other, or if you're going to form multiple businesses,
ensure that you're doing frequent reflections so that you avoid the failure, even if it's inevitable. You can avoid it. There's some measures you can put in place to avoid it, and then learn when to let go, guys. Don't be in a toxic relationship with your business. Don't be in a toxic relationship with your friends or with anyone. Learn as in the moment you just feel that this is the best it could be, funga hiyo kitabu, nenda.
For me, for numbers, it's easy for me to let go. And by easy, I mean, if the numbers are not making sense, we wrap it up.
Okay.
With friendship now, I was telling you, it was hard for me to let go because, I mean, this space is so familiar.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and start over all over again. Things like that. But I hear you.
Yeah.
How many mtu wa kuanzisha biashara kuanzisha. It's great. Your ambition is really great. But don't be ambitious aimlessly.
Yeah.
Now that you know that you're ambitious and it can work for you, do those research they talk about, and then when you start and you hit the ground running, you have a direction. So kuku inaweza achiliwa inakimbia
inaenda tu kila mahali.
You know, it has the bit to run, but then it's running nowhere. And I just want to shout out one of my mentors. I think he's one of those people that really holds my hand. A whole CEO, and I'll call him about the machine known as remarketing. And he'll tell me, he'd really sit with me in that conversation. Okay, what was the goal in this situation? What did you want to achieve? So do you think bringing this is going to make you achieve this? And I'm like, okay. I'm really, really trying to do the most. And he's like, yeah, so let's bring it back. So how best can you do? Like, he really takes you down those. And I really appreciate it because he's a very busy person. You get, he doesn't owe me. I'm not their relative. We are not born by the same mother.
Yeah.
But then he really, even how I have seen him deal with people around him, that's just a who he is type of thing. You get. Mm-hmm. And I was like, gosh, I really want to, when I grow up, I want to be like you. Mm-hmm. Because you have the money to be proud. You have the money to not entertain the startups. You have the money to only entertain conversations that bring you money.
Yeah.
But you still make time for people who are really trying to just figure out their lives. And the fact that they don't know, and what I think one of the things that I really love is they don't make you feel bad about not knowing. Mm-hmm. You know, in this, like when we were saying, startups, people who have gone ahead have this thing of making you feel like you're stupid.
Yeah.
And you already feel stupid. Yeah. So you come to this conversation and you feel more stupid. And you're like, I should have known this. No, you start beating yourself up and start doing like research that
even
has no
afraid
aim.
Of going back to them.
Exactly. And you do research that has no aim so that you just know. So that when you go to this conversation, you have something. And then again, you look more stupid again because they're going to ask you in-depth questions. Like it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
And I feel like with this space, you ask questions and you feel like that they lead you to, it's not that you don't know, it's just that you really didn't
see it that way.
Yeah, you see mjinga.
The perspective is different.
Unajua 1 + 1 is 2. But then there's a way we can do this, there's a way we can there's so many formulas to get to 4 or 10.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be 9 + 1. Yeah. It can be something else and you're still going to get to 10. Yeah. So shout out to him.
So utaki kusema jina yake? So guys, we hope you've really enjoyed this session. Again, failure is part of life. Even the Bible says a righteous man falls
7 times and stands up again.
Yeah. So you will rejoice again. You will laugh again. You will enjoy your business again. Yeah. Just ensure that you don't stay down. If you stay down, you are a dead lion and you're not helping anyone. And Maggie told us you're better off as a dog than a dead lion. Yeah. Don't let failure define who you are. Exactly. It will never define who you are. If anything, it should make you a better person. So if you've liked this episode, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Jamani tutawabegi. Comment.
Keep things. Hey, I love that bit. Don't take things to your heart. Keep them in the lungs. That one.
Breathe them out as soon as they come in.
Yes.
Till next time, guys.
Bye.